Thanks, Tommy. I'm back again with more Southern Section recruiting news. This week, there is a commitment coming from the Ocean League. Charles Ross from the Culver City Centaurs has committed to the University of Nevada in Reno. That's right, Ross. No relation to me whatsoever, but I like the last name. Ross is committing to the Nevada Wolfpack. That was just one of his 6 total offers. Among the other schools to offer Ross were Hawaii, the University of New Mexico, Sacramento State, San Diego State, San Jose State, and of course Nevada. The reason why Nevada likely scouted and then offered Ross the position to play on their roster is most likely because, granted, he's not the fastest nor the biggest receiver. He's only listed at 6'1", 170 pounds, but he still has really great playmaking ability. He exhibits really strong hands, and he's fearless when it comes to going up for the football and high pointing that thing. That's exactly what a receiver is supposed to do, and just about every highlight I saw Ross make that play time and time again. That's exactly what coaches are looking for. That's exactly what an offense needs from their receiver, to not be afraid to go up in traffic and catch the ball when, it's a crucial situation in the game. Charles Ross is proficient with that. Also, his productivity is on display every Friday night. He has a real nose for the end zone. He's in his 3rd year of varsity. His first year, his sophomore year, not much playing time, not very many outstanding stats, but he got his opportunity last year in his junior season, 2016, and he made the most of it. He up to this point in the season, he's averaging over at least 1 touchdown per game, and that's exactly the type of contribution that coaches and coordinators want to see from their players. That's outstanding. He's very smart with the ball as well. As much as he scores, he does very little to give the other team an opportunity to score. He limits his turnovers. He's very secure with the rock in his hand. And that, again, is another reason why the University of Nevada in Reno, the Wolfpack, why they offered to Charles Ross. Now, unfortunately for the 5 other schools, they're really missing out on great talent. But it's a really great pickup for the Wolfpack. That relationship is going to go well over the years. I can feel it. Nevada's really trying to bring in new recruits to help their program out, and by offering Charles Ross the position to play on their roster, they have made a great step in the right direction. Charles Ross already this season has gotten off to a great start. In only 2 games, he already has 5 touchdowns, and with only 8 catches. Like, that is spectacular. So they're doing really well right now. The Culver City Centaurs they're 2-0 in their league. They're actually one of 4 undefeated teams in that league. So it's a tough league, and the Centaurs are going to try and stay on top of that, and they have Charles Ross to rely on just in case they get into any type of tight situation. He's a great receiver again. Also, he plays free safety as well, but when I looked at the highlights, it just looked like I was watching a wide receiver playing center field, because this guy has a great nose for the football. He intercepted so many passes, I couldn't believe it. It really looked like he was on offense still. The way this guy just goes up and he high points the football, that's exactly what you need from either your receiver or your free safety. But it's clear, it's quite evident that Charles Ross, is great with his hands. He's a great receiver, and he's going to do a lot of big things at the next level. I can see it coming. But that's going to do it for me. I'm Jevon Ross, signing out for SoCal Prep Insider. Back to you, Tommy.
Welcome back to another edition of the Southern California Prep Insider Podcast. Tommy Moore, Shotgun Spradling. Shotgun, I'll let you do the honors again. The hat, explain.
Well, today, you can't really tell from the back, but we're wearing an Arizona hat because if you lose at home to a team that's been struggling with a hurricane, I think that's a pause for for hat verification there. Arizona's struggling this season. They're going to have to, step it up on the states. And you come to the southern section, get some more athletes out of the southern section, then maybe they can play a little bit better.
Yeah, there you go. And they do try and recruit California pretty well. So Rich Rod is for sure watching. He's a huge fan of the program. He definitely told me. Actually, he's going to be on the TV show on Friday. He actually is. That's not a joke. We did interview him a while ago, and we're going to use that video. So just pretty ironic that you're wearing that hat right now. Shotgun, let's get down to business. Top 10s. Who do you have?
We're starting at the top or the bottom? Which way are we going this week?
Always. I like the bottom. Just a suspense.
All right. We'll start at 10. We're going to move Orange Lutheran into the top 10. They beat Vista Murrieta, gave up the first points of the season, but they beat Vista Murrieta 40-20. Ryan Helinski, 505 yards, 4 TDs, featured on the show before. He's having a really big year to start out. He's got some weapons over there. They're a team to watch out. Team that dropped out, Murrieta Valley, did not lose. They beat Cajon. We'll talk about that game later. It was a very exciting game. But, I think Orange Lutheran's playing a little bit better right now. Number 9, we got Upland. They took care of business against Redlands East Valley, 47-23. Taj Davis with 8 catches, 187 yards, and 2 TDs. That team just seems to get a little bit better and better as the season goes on. That score wasn't even really that close, I don't think. It seemed like they were up pretty good to begin with. Chaminade lost to Bosco. They slipped down to number 8. The score was 31-17, game I was at. Bosco was able to limit Andrew Van Buren, the Boise State running back commit. That really shut down Chaminade's offense. They finally were able to get Michael Wilson open. He got an 80-yard touchdown. That was the big highlight for them. However, Bosco did a really nice job switching Chris Steele over a 2019 big-time cornerback recruit. And, that was a very fun matchup to see those two guys going at it. Wilson had a couple catches against him, but nothing too big. Number 7, Rancho Cucamonga. They were idle this past week, but, very talented team. 6, we got Jay Serra beat Bishop Amat 59-35. They were up 31-0 in this game. And then at halftime, they were only up by 11. So, they had to break the offense back out and finish off that one to put away Bishop Amat. They're averaging 51 points a game. Offense is really rolling. Matt Robinson, 304 yards passing, 5 TDs. I think he had an interception or 2 in there. And Al Fisher, not the biggest game that he's had, but that team just continues to put points on the board more and more every week. 59 this week, averaging 51. That's a team to watch out in the Trinity League. 5th, we got Centennial. Even more points than Jay Serra. They scored 73 points against Etowanda. That 59 points that Jay Serra scored, that's what Centennial had at halftime.
Well, they needed a bounce-back game after the IMG game.
That's true. But 59-0 at halftime with their third-string quarterback. That team just continues. They're an offensive juggernaut. It doesn't matter. They can plug guys in. If they get Tanner McKee back, that's a team to watch out. They got a big game coming up this weekend. Number 4, Mission Viejo beat La Habra 42-27. Even with star running back Jamari Farrell breaking his leg, he's going to be out for the year. Unfortunate for him there. You hate to see those type of things happen for guys and being done for the year. They also lost offensive lineman Chuck Redmond later in the game. Don't know the extent of that injury, but give props to Keely Arnold, filled in, stepped up for Farrell and ran for 152 yards and 3 touchdowns as they were able to kind of pull away from La Habra in the second half there. Number 3, St. John Bosco. There you stay at number 3, beating Chaminade 31-17. I thought about bumping them up to number 2, but Long Beach Poly was idle, and they've got a big game against Mission Viejo this week. They can prove themselves to stay in that number 2 spot. I'm going to leave them at number 2 for now. We'll see how they play this weekend. But Bosco at number 3, Demetrius Flowers and George Lonnie combined for 248 yards and a couple touchdowns on the ground. That team is only going to continue to get better. That defense is really, really good. It's going to be really fun seeing them when they get in the Trinity League play, and that matchup of Mater Dei is going to be something special. Which, of course, brings us to number 1, Mater Dei. Beat La Mirada 42-0. JT Daniels, 248 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, a 60-yard TD run to boot. Everybody was saying before the season that he was a statue quarterback, couldn't get out of the pocket. He's proven differently. He's got, I think, 3 or 4 touchdowns on the ground this year. Nico Remigio, 6 catches, 152 yards with 3 TDs because JT Daniels didn't have many weapons. Amon-Ra St. Brown's still out with the finger injury. His coach said that he should play this week. We'll see. Hopefully we see him out there. Brew McCoy was out with a tailbone injury. CJ Parks was also out. That's 3, 4, and 5-star receivers that he did not have, and still they put up 42 points. Also, they were missing 2 offensive linemen. That's Chris Murray and I messed it up. Kika Niakoya. I still messed it up. Gonzalez. Kiko
I'm
Gonzalez.
glad. I'm better man than me. You were attempting to read that than me.
That's right. Kiko Gonzalez. We'll go with that. Kika Gonzalez, who just committed to Boise State this past week, also was out. So missing 2 offensive linemen, 3-star receivers, and it doesn't matter. The modern day juggernaut continues. The offensive train just the tracks keep rolling. So that's my top 10 for this week.
Awesome. And again, modern day is still at the top there. See how long they last. I think they might go undefeated this year, so they might go.
Somebody's got to knock them off. I mean, that Trinity League is going to be really special. I think the Trinity League right now, I'm going off the top of my head. I know they have 1 loss. I think it's 17-1 as a league as a whole, and that 1 loss is Bosco when they played in Florida at the beginning of the season. So, and that was a very sloppy game. And maybe if it's played on some dry conditions, maybe they'd fare a little bit better. So, Trinity League is going to be fun this season to watch, and I'm looking forward to when they get to league play.
Putting you on your toes here, I didn't ask this before. Does Modern Day make it through the Trinity League undefeated?
I believe so. I think that team's really special. Now, the injuries are a concern right now. If they get healthy, I think that team is the best team in the country.
All right, there we go. There's Shotgun's top 10. Now we're going to Shotgun, who had good weeks last week that we should shout out.
Let's look at some of the standouts. Let me just say Tyler Jones from Aliso Nagel, not getting enough credit. The guy's got 506 yards receiving through 3 games and 6 TDs on 20 catches. Just want to shout him out. Alex Young again from Sunny Hills. His average actually dropped. He was averaging 295 yards and 4 TDs. He only got 277 yards and 3 TDs, and he did it in a close win over Godinez, including a touchdown with 21.3 seconds left to win the game. Give him a lot of credit. Guy's been killing it so far this season. Malik McClain with Jay Serra, 4 sacks and a fumble recovery, controlling the defense over there when they needed some after getting up early and, needed some stops late. Khalil Shakir, Vista Murrieta had 10 carries, 170 yards rushing, 272 all-purpose yards, including a 56-yard touchdown and 85-yard touchdown. He kept it close for them in a loss for them. Julius Irvin from Servite continues to score in different ways. 78-yard punt return for a touchdown this week. Ben Jefferson from Pacifica, we mentioned him last week. He passed for 221 yards and 2 TDs. Also ran for 175 and 4 TDs in a big win over Dana Hills. Jason Wilkinson of Orange, 10 for 13. Didn't throw it too much, but 259 yards, 4 TDs. Also ran for 40 yards and a TD. Anthony Munoz of Western did throw it a lot, 479 yards passing, 4 TDs. He had 3 receivers with at least 9 catches and over 122 yards. So, spreading the wealth over there for Western. Nathan Espinoza, Corona Del Mar, replacing Chase Garbers, who's at Cal now. He takes over at quarterback there. 23 for 33, 358 yards passing, 3 TDs, and a win over El Toro, who has their own quarterback, Cooper Jones, who had been lining it up. So, he kind of stole the spotlight in that one. Damon Callahan from Warren, 2 interceptions, took one back to the house. Another guy took one back to the house, Jaden Woodby, in that Bosco game that I was at. He had a 82-yard pick six, was a scoreless first half until he kind of turned the tide for that one. Casey Carr-Tustin just continues to rack up touchdowns. He's got 12 on the season now in 3 games after 4 more and 242 yards in a 27-9 win over Riverside Notre Dame. Kayvon Thibodeau at Oaks Christian, a guy I saw last week, wasn't able to get the quarterback. A lot of quick passes from Edison. This week against Paraclete, they were trying to throw some deep balls, 3 sacks, and he also added a TD catch on the other side. Justin Keeling from Valley View, 43 carries. Crazy, 43 carries. 326 yards, 5 TDs, 49-22 win over Hemet, including a 75-yard
ready for that kid.
Yeah, somebody get him an ice bath. He needs some ice cream after that game. Yeah. He needs his own personal roller to help him out. Those muscles are going to be really sore Saturday morning. He had a 75-yard touchdown. Also, congratulations to him for going over the 4,000-yard mark in his career. Another couple other guys that really carried the load for their team. Jamon McGlory for Arlington, 38 carries and a 15-3 win. He had 166 yards. Tyson Giles for Rubidoux had 40 carries, 232 yards, and the game-winning touchdown in a 30-27 win. Also in that game on the other side, give credit to Andre Thomas from La Sierra, had 8 catches, 258 yards, and 3 touchdowns and loss. And then I said we've mentioned again the Cajon Murrieta Valley. I may be saying Cajon wrong. I'm not even sure. But what a fantastic game. 49-46 win for Murrieta Valley. Hank Ballmeyer and Marquise Spiker hooked up for a couple touchdowns. Spiker only had 8 catches, 98 yards, which is pretty low for him, actually. He usually kind of doubles that. And his quarterback had 4 touchdowns, throwing 1 rushing. On the other side, on the losing side, Jaden Daniels, a kid that's going to be looked at by a lot of schools this next year or two, 28 for 36, 520 yards and 6 touchdowns. And he has a 6'6", 6'7" wide receiver, Darren Jones, who's pretty string bean, but is super athletic. Saw him earlier in the summer, looked really good. He's a raw talent, 6 catches, 231 yards, 4 TDs, and those TDs were – we'll start the shortest one was 19 yards, then 38, then 41, and then 85-yarder. Darren Jones just had a monster game. Unfortunately, came in a loss. They fell 49-46 in that one.
All right, so those are the guys who played well last week. Now on to our game picks. These are all available on the Fox Sports Go app or on Fox Sports Fan Ticket. The game of the week is on that Fox Sports Fan Ticket. We'll get to that one last. First, we're going to start with the team you were just talking about. It's Murrieta Valley traveling to San Clemente. The 2 guys that you talked about, also Hank Bachmeyer, off the hot start. He's got 13 touchdown passes already. 9 of them have gone to the aforementioned Marquise Spiker, who's currently committed to Washington. Shotgun, I'm going to go with the away team, Murrieta Valley, in this one. How do you see it?
I want to see Murrieta Valley defense do something, so I'm actually going with San Clemente. I think if it's a one-dimensional offense, they have a chance to shut them down. A couple guys there. Jack Shippey is a pretty good safety there, and I think that they're just getting better and better. They're 3-0 right now. They're coming off a 45-7 win over Fullerton. I'm going to take San Clemente, the home team.
Oh, there we go. So we have first
That's
right away
right.
Differing opinions. Awesome. Last week we picked too many of the same games last week. It wasn't as fun. Moving on to our next game. Another kid from San Clemente I want to mention, Austin Whitsett with his 6 rushing touchdowns already. So he's off to a pretty hot start as well. Next game on the app, it's going to be Newport Harbor going to Corona Del Mar. Tay Lee already with 3 receiving touchdowns. He was on the TV show before, so please check that out on YouTube. I will take CDM. Newport Harbor still looking for their first win. I don't think they get it this week.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think Corona Del Mar is playing well, and like I said, Nathaniel Espinoza, really came on last game in a chance to steal a spotlight, and now he's got it. I think he's going to run with it.
On to our next one. It's Valencia at Newbury Park. Valencia, Moises Haynes has 369 yards and 5 touchdowns in only 2 games so far this season. And on the Newbury Park side, they just coming off a loss to Westlake. They were winning going into the 4th quarter, but ended up losing the lead. Joshua Madison, great player, going to Iowa State. Cameron Reesing, we talked about him last week, going to Texas. I think Newbury Park gets a little bounce-back game here, and I think they win this game at home against the Vikings.
I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think Valencia is going to come on the road, is going to make a statement and get a win. Reesing is a big weapon for Newbury Park. If you can limit him a little bit, then I think you got a good chance to win that game.
All right, our next game. This game is actually going to take place on Saturday. This is a tough one to research because we have a team not only from out of the section, but about as far away as possible in the country. It's Bergen Catholic coming from New Jersey to play Mater Dei, just a little bit on the away team. They have junior running back John McKenzie. He's a good player to watch. Their quarterback, Johnny Langan, already committed to Boston College next season. Javante Jean-Baptiste, I think I'm saying that right, outside linebacker with 12 scholarship offers, and wide receiver Isaiah Givens. Off to a slow start this season, but he's a future Division I player, so keep an eye on him. I like Mater Dei. I like the home team. I think they're the best team in the country. I don't think they lose a single game this year, so I'll pick Mater Dei.
I mean, it's always tough going across the country to play. We saw Bosco have that issue going to Florida. It's just you're dealing with jet lag for the first time, especially as a high school kid. You're not really used to dealing with that and trying to, play it, the day or two later. So I definitely got Mater Dei. I think, like I said, I think they're the best team in the country until somebody, does something that really competes with them. If they take them down the wire, then maybe I'll consider anybody else. But right now, I'm just going to go with Mater Dei.
And the final game we're going to pick, again, this is the TV game. It's an LA team, Narbonne, going on the road to take on Corona Centenial. Narbonne averaging 4.5 sacks per game so far this season. I'm going to go with Corona Centenial. Narbonne's offense does not look like what it's supposed to look like yet. I think Corona Centenial takes this game at home.
I think this is your classic defense versus offense matchup. I mean, the Narbonne defense has Raymond Scott committed to USC, one of the top linebackers in the country. They've got some dudes on that defense, whereas the Corona Centennial offense is just a machine over there. With the third string quarterback, depending on who plays, I'm not hedging my bets on this one. If the third string quarterback is still starting for Centennial, I'm taking Narbonne. Otherwise, I'm going to take Centennial. So I don't know how you want to classify that in our pick'em, but yeah, I'm hedging my bets on this one.
Wow, disappointing.
And since we mentioned,
I'm going with Corona Centennial either way.
And since we mentioned LA City, the LA City section, congratulations to Jordan High School getting their first win since 2011. They had to drop down. They lost some numbers. They had to drop down to 8-man, came back up, and were able to get their first win this past weekend. So congratulations to them.
And so that is the end of our podcast. Shotgun, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
A couple other games that kind of stood out or interesting notes from games that stood out. Garden Grove had a ceremony honoring their fallen Navy SEAL, Michael Mansour, who played for the team a couple decades ago and was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. They named the field after him, I believe. So that was pretty cool seeing that ceremony. And then interesting on the other flip side, Tribuca Hills and Fountain Valley had a little drama after the game. Because about trading game tape before the week leading up. One team did not want to trade, and apparently they sent them a tape of the freshman team, and they claimed it was just an accident. Whether it was or not, I don't know. The CIF says that during CIF league games you are supposed to trade tape. During non-league games, it's not really sanctioned. It's kind of the normal. Given, hey, we'll give you a tape, you give us tape, but apparently this team did not want to, so caused a little drama after the game. Always fun, little heated.
I would hope that they were able to tell that it was a freshman team. It didn't go off that tape.
Yes, they did not go off the tape. They did tell. What is this? What is this?
That would have been very surprising to show up to the game and see a whole bunch of upperclassmen instead of freshmen that they're expected to go see.
These guys look a lot bigger than on
these
tape.
guys look a lot bigger in person. Their uniforms are a lot nicer. This is weird. That'll do it for this week. We'll see you guys next week. Please make sure to check out all the games on the app, and have a good one.